Now I'm ready.
So you're ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. That's okay.
How did we meet? On Easter Sunday, like the actual day, I was in town visiting my parents just for a normal Easter weekend.
I actually played Jesus in a play, and her dad. It was at the church that her dad got voted into. So
they had the Easter production going on, like 3 or 4 nights from like Thursday to Sunday. So I had just gotten in like Friday, and Mom was like talking about how she met or saw the guy playing Jesus, and who happened to be Chandler. We didn't know at the time. So she's like, "There's this cute guy that's hanging on the cross, basically dying on the cross." I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, she's like, "Yeah, he's cute." I'm like, "Well, that's all we know about him, so I don't know, like, whatever."
on my last night of performance, they brought Kari there, and we met.
So that Sunday night comes, but that's when they do the full last production. We get through it, or I meet him beforehand, actually. I was like, "Hey, I'm Kari, I'm Chandler," and then he had to go be Jesus. Later that night, they were finished, and we officially fully talked, got each other's numbers, and the rest is history. We talked for like 2 weeks, and then we started dating 2 weeks later, like officially.
And pretty much hit it off from there. So I knew that it was going to be kind of more of a serious relationship almost right out of the gate. So.
It's obviously he's a good-looking guy. I mean, looks are everything, but obviously he is a very handsome guy. But it's really not fully that drew me in. It was really how he carried himself, and he knows this. I'll say it over and over to him a billion times. It's how he approached me. It's how he spoke to me. The way he just carried himself. He was very mature and just very kind and gentle.
Right out of the gate. So the first time I ever saw her, she was like in this lavender purple dress. And I remember just being like, wow, she really is beautiful. And then I remember her dark eyes and just overall her elegance really drew me in. She has a different sense of humor. To go with me and not be offended is already saying something. But whenever I say something that's like usually offends people, and then she like tags onto it and it's like more offensive, I think that's hilarious. And it makes me laugh. And then I think on the other side of it, I think just her gentle kindness, and kind of just like the facts where she wants to be carefree and like that she doesn't care, but she totally does, and it makes me laugh. And I think moving forward, in that mindset of just kind of like, hey, this is us, we're just doing it our way, I think has really made me really more wrapped up in her and made me really want to take a serious look, and become more serious about it. So.
And then right off, but that was the first day we met too. And I was like already just like, oh, okay, So just how he presented himself and just how sweet and genuine he sounded, and the way he talked was just really sweet. And the way later on, I guess, I found out how he loves his family, loves deeply, and works hard and all that good stuff. And yes, he is good looking too. But yeah, just his personality really, really drew me in. So.
Man, I think it was a couple months in, and we've been dating. And I think there's this place where it's like you date and you're like you're having fun, but you're not really sure if it's really gonna be serious. And there's like that moment that's like you're like, this is actually a serious thing, right? And for me, one of my biggest love languages is acts of service, and the fact that she cared so much. We were doing a renovation at our academy. And she took time out of her day almost every single day. We got kind of trapped doing it by ourselves. And she took time out of her day every single day to come over there and help us, and worked well with my family and worked well with me, and cared in a way that was more than just somebody that was obligated to do it, but somebody that actually wanted to have pride in it, even though it really had nothing to do with her at the time. And I think that was really when I realized, like, this is a grown-up relationship. This girl actually loves me and cares about me, and that's when I think I kind of knew I wanted to look at it through a more serious and also quicker action. That's kind of when I knew I wanted to marry her at that point.
Every January, They do a big kickoff party just for the year, like rah, just a fun night. Nothing else going on, but really just maybe a few awards, but otherwise just a fun night. So they had that this past January. And of course I'm gonna come and support, because we're dating, might as well. But I did have a hunch, I will say, I had a hunch. I was like, something just seemed like it's gonna happen soon. I don't know.
So to be honest, the way we did it was the way I wanted to do it from the beginning. I had kind of, just kind of messed around with a few different things. She had said she didn't want a big crowd. She had said that she really didn't want a lot of people around, so I was kind of like, with the way I was going to do it. But at the end of the day, I was kind of like, this is me. This is very much who I am. I'm not a go out to the woods and propose privately in a lake. It's just really not who I am. I'm very much more of like an in-your-face kind of abrupt, not very diplomatic or politically correct, or very I just have fun and I just do me.
And then he already invited my whole family to this party. I was like, why did he invite my family to a little kickoff party? But so I kind of got thrown off with it. So I had something in mind. But we got to the kickoff party, and they do all the fun things. They kickboard, they slice fruit with swords, they do everything you imagine with martial arts, doing all the fun things. And after Chandler had broken a slab of concrete in half that was on fire,
broke some flaming concrete and all kinds of other stuff, and then I brought her up and we surprised her with it, and it was just really a great moment.
After that, he was like, I got one more stunt. I was like, what else could he possibly have after this? He just broke a flaming piece of, concrete. So it's like, what else could it be? He's like, oh, I need a volunteer. So he was like, in the video, you can watch it back. He's like, Mom, will you do it? And she's like, no, take care. I was like, okay, what is he about to do? So he takes me up on stage. His brother Landon holds a board over my head until he said, I'm gonna do a kick over your head and break the board. I was like, okay, here we go. And I believed that he could. I really did. I was waiting for it. And then Landon, his brother, told me to turn around. He was on one knee and he proposed, and everybody, the uproar in the room ensued after that. So it was a really special day. I didn't want a big crowd, but at the time, after the moment, it happened, you don't even think about it.
And I talked to her afterwards. I was like, I know you didn't really want a big crowd, but she said she really didn't mind it in the end. She said it was a great moment, and I was like, yes, I was counting on that. I was counting on that. So.
The kind of love is right now. I really feel I am flying, releasing my troubles. And although you're so far, I really feel we're entwined. We'll wait till it's right for us.
You look beautiful. So pretty. Of course. You're stunning. Okay. I'll try to hold back so it won't make you do it right.
I was ready to start before you turn around.
You'll do what you need. I'll sing me a song. We'll meet when we meet. Touch base and walk on. I'm kinda choked up right now. I really feel you can hear me and get this wherever you are. As you breathe in the space, as I breathe in the city, we'll know when it's right for us to be looking at the stars from my balcony, wondering about what the future will bring. Oh,
to personally take this time to thank everybody for coming out on this celebration. I want to thank first and foremost the Seco family and their friends for being here, and also the Taylor family and friends for being here as well. So I was asked to give some words, and when you give that to a preacher, that's a dangerous thing to do. But what I've decided to do is I want to share a story. I remember when Chandler was first born, and my wife had made a decision at that particular time that we were going to pray for this young man to be used of God. And I remember going by his bedside and praying every single evening. I say, God, use this baby for your good. God, use this baby for your good. God, use this man for your good. Well, I've changed it today. And now we have to say that God used this couple in a mighty way. And I believe with God's power and strength that He can do all things. And I would ask you guys, I've learned this a long time ago, that if you have a bended knee, a sharp sword, and an eye on the sky, all things are possible through Christ. And I would ask that you would help me in praying the new prayer, that with God, all things are possible, and this couple will be used of Him.
The scripture suggests that God specifically made Eve for Adam and Adam for Eve. This man and woman, Kari and Chandler, they both affirm that they believe God has specifically designed them and purposed them to be together. And I know Julie and I have talked about it, Scott and Juan and I have talked about it. We really see the hand of the Lord in the way God brought these two together. So with that being the case, the testimony of Kari and Chandler is that they love each other, and their desire is to be joined together in marriage for the rest of their lives. Now, this is commended by the Apostle Paul to be honorable among all men, and therefore is not to be entered into unadvisedly or lightly, but reverently, discreetly, and in the fear of the Lord. So into this holy estate, these two now come to be joined. Chandler, do you promise Kari, God and these who love you both, that you will love, cherish, and sustain her as your wife, to care for her, to open your heart and life to her, and to be the spiritual leader in your home? Do you commit to be her faithful and devoted husband for the rest of your life?
100% I do.
Do you promise, Chandler, God and these who love you both, that you will love, cherish, and sustain him as your husband, to care for him, open your heart and life to him, and to follow his spiritual leadership? Do you commit to be his faithful and devoted wife for the rest of your life? They both respond with the ring. Much is suggested about the quality of love as you think about the wedding ring. The wedding rings are made of the purest metals and therefore speak of your commitment to unfailing purity and fidelity in your marriage. Also note, with the ring, there is no separation. It is a complete circle. This speaks of your commitment to always remain together. It speaks of the permanence of marriage. So these rings will be a ceaseless reminder of this hour and will serve today as a seal to the vows that you're about to take. My distinct joy and privilege today as a minister of the gospel of Christ to pronounce that from this moment on, you are now husband and wife, and what God has joined together, let no one separate. So Chandler, you may kiss your bride.
Love from the first light, I was taken, you stirred from a dream, you were not yet awake yet. I knew this feeling would stay always. Some things in life you can be certain, like birds in the ceiling who keep returning. I'll fly across the ocean and never lose my way. As long as stars are in the sky, as long as day
just like I was taking you, stirring from a dream you were not yet awake yet. I knew